Hello friends, good morning. This is Yatish Kumar. Welcome to SSC Revision Digital Classes, subject Biological Science. We are in the second chapter, State Syllabus, Biological Science, the Respiration, the Energy Releasing System, Part 3. So far, we discussed about the types of respiration, the events in the respiration, that is breathing, gaseous exchange at a lungs level, transport of gases, gaseous exchange at a tissue level, and cellular respiration. Cellular respiration takes place in the mitochondria. Mitochondria is the one of the cell organelle. The digested food, glucose, transported to every cell of the individual or living organism. The respiration may be aerobic or anaerobic respiration. Respiration may be two types. One is aerobic, second is anaerobic. The first step in the respiration is glycolysis. It is the common step for the aerobic and anaerobic respiration. Glycolysis is the first step. It is present in the aerobic and anaerobic respiration. What is the meaning of glycolysis? Glyco means glucose. Lysis, breakdown. Glucose breaks into two molecules of pyruvic acid is called glycolysis. So glucose converted into two molecules of 3-carbon compound, that is called pyruvate. This is called glycolysis. Glucose is the 6-carbon containing a molecule C6, H12 and O6. The glucose breaks into molecules of 3-carbon compound. Pyruvate is generated in the glycolysis. This is the first step in the respiration. This is the flow chart for glycolysis and aerobic anaerobic respiration. Glycolysis takes place in the cytoplasm. So the fate of the pyruvate may be aerobic or anaerobic. If there is plenty of oxygen present in the cells, then the pyruvic acid or pyruvate enters into aerobic respiration. Mitochondria is the site or cell organelle where aerobic respiration takes place. If the oxygen is absent or low level of the oxygen, then it undergo anaerobic respiration. Anaerobic respiration. The step number 1 is the glycolysis. In the glycolysis, in the cytoplasm, one glucose molecule breaks into two molecules of pyruvic acid, which is 3-carbon compound. This pyruvate, if there is plenty of oxygen present in the cells, enters into aerobic respiration in the mitochondria and releases CO2 plus water and energy. The example for this plants and animals. Coming to the anaerobic respiration, if it is lactobacillus, The end product are lactic acid. In the lactobacillus. In the lactobacillus, lactic acid is created along with energy. And next example, if there is ethanol plus energy also created in the examples of yeast. So yeast cells are example for production of ethanol in the absence of oxygen. So here, along with ethanol and energy, it also produces carbon dioxide. In our body, anaerobic respiration also takes place. Is anaerobic respiration also releases energy? Yes. Anaerobic respiration also releases energy. The best example in our body, muscles. Because the oxygen supply in the muscles is very much less. Muscles containing a hemoglobin like material that is called myoglobin. Myoglobin stores the oxygen. Suppose leg muscles are taking an example. They produce a chemical that is called lactic acid. So the anaerobic respiration takes place in the muscles. Muscles are containing myoglobin. Myoglobin can store a little amount of the oxygen. That is why in the strenuous exercise or walking continuously, the amount of oxygen is depleted. So the person's muscles are low amount of oxygen. They undergo anaerobic respiration and produces lactic acid. Whenever the muscles or the blood of the persons, the muscles of the persons are filled with lactic acid, these muscles cannot work. The muscles cannot work because they are tired. The muscles are tired. So the tired muscles because of lactic acid is called muscle fatigue. So if a muscle containing lactic acid after a strenuous exercise, it releases or accumulates lactic acid by anaerobic respiration, immediately that muscle is tired, cannot work, and then it is called muscle fatigue. This lactic acid is sent to the liver. Through blood, it is sent to the liver. In the liver, this lactic acid is converted into glucose. It is one type of reverse glycolysis. That glucose is transported to the muscles through blood. At the same time, lungs also supplies oxygen by breathing. At the same time, the lactic acid transported to the liver, the lactic acid back converted into the glucose, reverse glycolysis, and transported to the muscles through blood, and this muscle ready to work once again. So here important bits are: what is called muscle fatigue? muscle tiredness is called muscle fatigue. What happens in the muscle fatigue? The muscle cannot work. Which chemical is responsible for muscle fatigue? Lactic acid accumulation is responsible for muscle fatigue. How that lactic acid is back converted into glucose, that is in the liver. In the liver, lactic acid is converted into the glucose and transported to the muscles. There is a graph showing that in the x-axis the time in the minutes, and in the y-axis the accumulation of lactic acid in the blood in the milligram per cubic centimeter. There point A, point B, point C, point D are there. Point A, where the lactic acid level is very much less in the blood. In the strenuous exercise or continuous walking, continuous running, the lactic acid accumulation is increases. The point B, that is 100 milligrams per cubic centimeter in the muscles, indicates muscle tiredness. Then in the rest, what happening? That lactic acid is transported to the liver. That is why in the graph C point is there and then the D point. In the C and D points, the lactic acid is decreased because transported to the liver and back converted into the glucose. So this is the graph showing the accumulation of lactic acid and recovery in the rest period. Anaerobic respiration, some experiments with yeast. Lab activity, some experiments with yeast. Figure 12. Testing for production of heat and CO2 under anaerobic respiration by using yeast. Yeast is a unicellular fungi. It can grow in the presence of oxygen and also absence of oxygen. In the presence of oxygen, yeast cells undergo aerobic respiration. If we are maintaining low amount of oxygen or absence of oxygen, then yeast undergo anaerobic respiration. This experiment shows that testing of production of heat and carbon dioxide in the anaerobic respiration. Carbon dioxide and heat are produced during the anaerobic respiration also. This is the one of the experiment which tests the production of CO2 and heat in the anaerobic respiration by using the yeast cells. This is the glass jar. It containing glucose solution. Glucose solution. And we create a situation where there is no oxygen. If we want to remove the oxygen from the glucose solution, we have to heat the glucose solution. So heating creates anaerobic environment. That is called boiling of glucose solution. After boiling, add yeast to the solution. So first boil the glucose. Heating creates boiling and then cooling. Boiling and cooling creates anaerobic environment in the glucose solution. Then add yeast to this glucose solution. To stop the entry of the oxygen or air into the glucose solution, we are using a wax. called paraffin. This paraffin wax stops the entry of oxygen. This is thermometer. Thermometer. Using of diazine. So diazine green is one of the indicator, converts a solution blue to pink color. So if the blue color is converted into pink color, it indicates there is a anaerobic environment in the glucose solution. Each cells undergo anaerobic respiration and produces ethanol as a byproduct in the anaerobic respiration, and increases the temperature in the thermometer, and the CO2 enters into the lime water and converts lime water into milky white. So all these three observations indicates that there is a production of heat and also carbon dioxide along with ethanol in the anaerobic respiration with yeast cells. After the anaerobic respiration, the glucose, the mixture of glucose plus ethanol. Ethanol is separated by this mixture by a method that is called fractional distillation. So fractional distillation is the method in which a mixture of two or three solutions are easily separated by heating by using their boiling points. Here the ethanol boiling point is 70 degrees centigrades, gets vaporized and collected in its pure form. Respiration versus combustion. Respiration and combustion both are the similar process in which they require oxygen. Combustion is also known as burning process. The burning process outside the living organisms is called combustion. The process of burning or combustion within the cells of living organisms is called respiration. Both are called oxidative reactions. The three major differences between the respiration and combustion are: number one, burning of glucose takes place at a high temperature. Respiration, burning cannot take place in high temperature. Respiration takes place at a low temperature. Combustion takes place at a high temperatures. Respiration is a controlled process. Once the burning of the glucose or sugar started, it cannot stop till the completion of the total sugar or glucose. Respiration takes place within the cytoplasm in the water, but outside the cells, the burning process, if you are adding the water, immediately stops the burning process. Evolution of gases exchanging system. In the animal kingdom, the animals are categorized into unicellular and multicellular. From the unicellular amoeba onwards up to the multicellular advanced mammals, all these animals are take respiration by using different types of respiratory organs. So basing on the habitat, cellular complexity, the living organisms are developed different types of respiratory organs. In the unicellular amoeba, in the multicellular hydra, planaria, roundworms and earthworms. Unicellular amoeba, multicellular hydra belongs to Cnidaria phylum, planaria Platyhelminthes, roundworms nematodes, earthworm Annelida. The exchange of gases takes place through a simple process, a simple physical phenomena. It is called simple diffusion. So from the amoeba to all these organisms, the respiration takes place in the form of diffusion. Cockroach or grasshopper. Cockroach and grasshoppers belongs to arthropoda. They have a special system, it's called tracheal system. Trachea-like tubes are present in the throughout the body. By using those tube-like structures, the air enters directly into the every cell of the organism. So this is called tracheal system. Aquatic habitat. Best example is fish. The respiratory organs are called gills. So it is called branchial respiration. Coming to another example, frog. Frog. So frog is an amphibian. It has both the lifestyles on the earth and in the water. That's why they can respire by using the skin or buccopharyngeal system and lungs. Respiration in plants. Respiration in plants. The best site for gaseous exchange in the plants is leaf. Every leaf containing air spaces provided with stomata. The two guard cells creates a space in between because the guard cells are bean shaped. So the bean shaped guard cells creates a small space gap that is called stomata. By using this stomata, air enters into the plants and carbon dioxide releases outside. These stomata are located on the leaf. Stem also containing smallest holes or pores on the stem. Those holes or pores are called lenticels. This diagram shows the lenticels on the stem. Lenticels present on the stem, stomata present on the leaf. Roots also require oxygen for their growth. Plants which are growing near the seawater or water logging condition, they can adapt it to live in that place by producing a special type of roots that are called aerial roots. Mangroves. The roots present above the ground. On the roots, smallest holes are present, and by using these smallest holes, they respire. So the roots which are present above the ground, those roots are called aerial roots. Aeration of roots. This diagram shows the aerial, also called respiratory roots in the mangrove plants. The best example is mangrove plants. Evolution of CO2 in respiration. In this activity, we are taking sprouts, Bengal gram sprouts. Sprouts means germinating seeds. Germinating seeds of Bengal gram or moong dal are taken in a glass jar. Activity 3. Evolution of CO2 in respiration. In a glass jar with the sprouts, aside there is a beaker along with a lime water. Sprouts are germinating because in respiration they produce carbon dioxide. How can we confirm? Because the lime water in the beaker is converted into milky white. Evolution of heat in respiration. Take germinating seeds in a thermos flask and insert a thermometer into that. The sprouts are under respiration and produces heat. The heat production is confirmed by increasing the temperature in the thermometer. Evolution of heat during respiration. The differences between the photosynthesis and respiration. Photosynthesis versus respiration. Photosynthesis takes place in all green plants. Respiration takes place in all living organisms. Photosynthesis is the anabolic process, means construction process where the simplest molecules convert into organic molecules like starch or glucose. So construction of materials takes place in photosynthesis, where it is a catabolic process. Catabolic process. Photosynthesis takes place in chloroplast. Chloroplast. Respiration takes place in mitochondria. Mitochondria. Simple molecules converts into complex molecules. Respiration, complex molecules breaks into simple molecules. The equation in the photosynthesis, 6CO2 plus 12H2O gives C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2. The equation in the respiration. Glucose C6H12O6 gets converted into CO2, water and energy. Photosynthesis is the endothermic reaction. Respiration is exothermic. So friends, we are stopping here. Stay here to home, be safe. Like the video, share the video and subscribe my channel Zoology Online Guru. Thank you. Thanks for watching my video.